Welcome. This is part 2 of the ABCs and 1, 2, 3's of retirement savings, brought to you by rebelcapitalist.com. So let's quickly go over what we are going to cover in today's presentation on the ABCs and 1, 2, 3's of retirement savings. We're going to talk about 401ks, allocations to the 401k, and what to do in our current market. 401ks. 401k got its name from the section of the Internal Revenue Code that created these plans. They're known as defined contribution plans, which are offered by employers to their workers. They allow workers to set aside pre-tax income contributions for retirement savings. Now, the employer may match the employee's contribution dollar for dollar. They may match a fraction of that or a certain ratio. They may not even contribute. This is totally at the discretion of the employer whether they want to make contributions. I know in the current economic environment, several employers are not making contributions this year and possibly next year. Let's cover 401ks a little more. There are limits to the employee contributions per the tax code. In 2009, the amount is $16,500. It is usually indexed to inflation and usually changes every year. There is what's called a catch-up contribution limit. If you are 50 years old or older, an employee can contribute up to $5,000 in addition to the usual limits, but not every employer will allow catch-up contributions to the 401k plan. Now, there is a penalty for early withdrawal of 401k if you withdraw prior to the age of 59 and a half, and then that is 10% penalty, plus you have to pay the additional income tax on the withdrawal. 401ks transfer investment risk to the worker. This has definitely been made very clear during our current economic crisis when people have lost significant sums of retirement savings through their 401ks. The employee is typically given several investment options, usually mutual funds, and oftentimes, when people hear are asked what are their allocations of their contributions, 60% for younger people, typically 60% stock, 30% maybe go to corporate bonds, high quality corporate bonds, and maybe 10% into less risky assets or risk-free assets such as treasuries and municipal securities. Contributions and earnings are tax deferred. One of the challenges for a 401k is that they're not very portable, meaning you can't take them from one job to another. There are laws that are being proposed that would make it a little easier. One option a person does have if they change their job and want to move their 401k is to roll it over into a rollover IRA. Now, there are things that are this is where the numbers come in for 401ks. There is a 403b, and that's a retirement plan for not-for-profit employers. And then there's a 457, and this is a retirement plan for some governments and some non-government employers such as hospitals. Allocations. This is the allocations of contributions and allocations between various types of mutual funds that may exist in your 401k. The theory is, and you'll hear this over and over again, the theory is that younger workers can accept more risk. They have more time to make up for fluctuations in the market. An example of allocations for a younger worker may be 60% stock, 30% high-quality corporate bonds, and 10% money market securities. But this is purely example, because there's also a factor that this example does not account for, is the amount of risk that young person can actually accept. Because theoretically they can accept more risk, but what about practically speaking? Can they accept the risk? Or does it make them uneasy accepting risk like that? And as we get older and closer to retirement, our allocation should change. This is not something that's going to be set in stone when you start a 401k. Your allocation should change as we get older. They should move towards less risky investments because we want to preserve, as we get closer to retirement, we want to preserve that capital or principal that has accumulated over the years. So what should we be doing in the current market with our 401ks? Now, this is an extremely tough question to answer. No one has a crystal ball, and no one is quite sure what's going to happen with our economy. But there are a few things that we can do. One is don't panic. Don't start liquidating your 401k or selling off stock funds. There's nowhere to go. There is no safe place right now in investing. So you're better off just staying put. Now, that only applies to people who are not close to retirement. This is going to be a tough pill to swallow, but if you can afford it, I would consider increasing the 401k contributions. The theory is you want to buy low, sell high. In fact, one of the greatest investors of our time, Warren Buffett, says, be greedy when people are concerned, and be concerned and conservative when people are greedy. So right now, people are concerned, people are selling. So maybe it's our time to be a little greedy by increasing our 401k contributions. We're buying by doing so. If, and again, I have to stress, if we can afford it, we're buying low. Asset values, particularly stock market values, are very low. So you're buying more now with the idea that in the future, a couple years from now, you've now accumulated significant amounts of assets, and they're going to be valued higher. Now, if you are close to retirement, say 5 to 10 years, please review your retirement plan, possibly with a certified financial planner. It's very important to look at where you stand now in terms of your allocations, your timing to retirement, that sort of thing, because we are in a down market. There's no question about that, and most people's 401ks have taken huge hits now. So it's very important for those people who are 5 to 10 years out to sit down with a professional, particularly a certified financial planner, and see where you're at. Unfortunately, you may have to make changes to your retirement plans. But before you do, sit down with a professional. That concludes our presentation on the ABCs and 1, 2, 3's of retirement planning, part 2. Thank you for your attention. We hope that it was helpful. We plan on doing more episodes regarding retirement savings. Thank you, and good luck.